This is the presentation for the end-to-end automation. Here we are presenting a solution for, so we have currently two separate sets of automation that we do. We are already using them in the current FRB environments. So the first stream of automation that we generally use is the UI automation frameworks. We have been doing that for over generations. There have been some generations of Java, Selenium frameworks. Then we did some automation on UFT. Uh, then we have also done a version of that on Perfecto. Most of them are Selenium or UFT based. Similarly, there are chain of frameworks that we use for API automation that also started quite early, and we had JMeter based frameworks, then SOAP UI and Postman based frameworks. Recently enough, we also have done Cucumber, Chai, Mocha based frameworks integrated within the code for unit testing. All of these work pretty well in terms of doing their own jobs. So with that, we'll get into what happens with these frameworks now. So what we have noticed that uh, when we are using just the UI frameworks, the data that we use gets stale very frequently because we are using hybrid frameworks driven through Excels. We put in test data within the Excel, and obviously the values that we get back from the backend keep on changing, so that data gets stale very frequently. Secondly, the testing is focused on the forms and not the data. So the functionality of that is not interactive enough. Thirdly, the validations that we do, right, they are static in nature because obviously we are picking values from the Excel that needs to be constantly updated and changed from the backend so that it becomes relevant. Even so, it takes a lot of manual efforts and challenges to keep on updating that data and test data sheet every time that we run the automation to be able to keep up to the pace of the data changes that's happening. And it's a lot of maintenance and manual labor that takes to actually keep that updated every time that we run the regression suits. So with that, now what we have done is basically brought those two worlds into a single framework solution. Obviously, what we get out of this is dynamic assertions, which basically means that the value that you see on the screen can be dynamically compared against real-time calls from the APIs. Secondly, we are actually able to use application test scenarios and test cases. Earlier, there was a bunch of test cases that was being created for just the API tests, and then a similar bunch was getting created for the UI tests. So obviously, there's a duplication of effort. Plus, there we had uh, encountered defect leakages because the API tests and the UI tests were not exactly the same. There were lots of edge case scenarios that was missed out on the UI tests that which was not tested in the API test, excuse me. Thirdly, we feel that just because the API testing can also work as a standalone framework in itself in the integrated suite, it can also be used as a health check call just before the automations are run, which also helps in saving a lot of efforts because then, at times when you're running the automation and the backends is down, you say false positives and false regression runs, which can be avoided. We already talked about live API responses. Obviously, that is a great value add because now we are actually integrating with the backend data sets. The code maintenance becomes lower because because you're getting live value, right? Like I said, the data sets that you have to go and update every time on the data Excel-based databases and or the test data environments are lesser, and so you get a lot of benefit out of that. So with that, we'll get into a little bit of architecture of what we have done. On the right-hand side, we have the current Selenium-based architecture. It is standard way of what we do currently. There are, test suites which then work with the Selenium automation framework engine. And then we also have been able to extend those engines with a device provider called Perfecto, which can then extend that to mobile automation as well. On the left-hand side, we have the architecture. The biggest change here is that we have plugged in a tool called Rest Assured in the Selenium framework, which is able to actually make backend API calls directly from the automation suites and then fetch a response. And within the suite itself, and we have created cache within the framework to be able to retain that data set and then compare against the object library and the values from the UI. With that, we will get on to the actual demo. Here, I will request Ajay Mishra from the deposits team, who will be able to showcase the demo actually live here. I will be using the DCO application. Over to you, Ajay.
Thanks, Diptesh. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm going to present my demo today. So before, let me share my screen. Okay. So basically, I mean, as Diptesh explained, like we are going to have like UI and API integration testing. So this is going to be like we have Selenium framework, we have rest assured framework, we are integrating, and we are also like, I mean, we are integrating with the database. So that means, I mean, it is going to give us end-to-end solution. That means, I mean, UI response will be validated. I mean, we are capturing data from the UI, which will be getting validated with the API response. API response will be validated with the database, basically. So let me give you one example on this DCO application. Basically, DCO is nothing but deposit client onboarding application, and we are going to show you search request. So I'll be showing you two scenario. One is search request, which is going to be from UI to database end-to-end testing, and another one is negative scenario where banker is trying to open new accounts, and he will be entering like some wrong tax ID and getting blocked with the next workflow. So let me click on search requests. I will be selecting type account, and I will be entering account number, press enter. So I will click on this account link. So if left hand side, you can see I have account information. So in my script, basically we are going to capture this account information, and then that account number we will be going to pass to API, and then API will be basically, I mean, token will be generated, API will be triggered, we will get response. After getting response from API, we will validate UI and API response, and then API and database. So basically what we are doing here. Okay. So let me take you on the some application.properties file. So basically we are storing some dynamic variables here. So I mean, basically this is going to be our link. So this is our flight path link. We are going to use Chrome, and then this is our we'll be generating our auth code. We will have like get account attribute service, which is going to be triggered after this, and then this data is we will be this API, basically it will be searching data in Oracle database MDM. So this is NP2 environment, and we are going to use just non-PII data. And after that, basically this is our properties file, and then our feature file. Feature is like we have going to define like given when then. So I mean, it will be like logging into the application, going to the, I mean, uh, hitting endpoint, getting response, and then second scenario will be negative scenario. And this data basically will be getting from the our test data. So today actually we are using that test data from the Excel. So it will be fast and all, because I mean, we are just taking some example on that. So this is our demo. And then, okay, and one more thing I want to add. So basically, this is our step definition account summary class, the Java class. So here we will be just, I'm showing this, this is our precondition, and this is our condition which is satisfying, and we are getting a result here. So this is basically, one is compare UI with API response and compare API with database response. And like, all the details like DB validation part and everything are here. So let me show you exactly data from where we are getting this data. So I have saved this data, our test data here. So we have test user, then we have account input, all accounts, and then we will be taking from the individuals, that is for the negative scenario. Okay. Let me log out from the application. Okay, so I'm going to run a script. The script started, it's going to launch browser. This is our Chrome browser is launching. It will go with the login script. So basically, logged in. Click on search requests, then it will click on type count, enter account number. Yes, click on account link. Now we will be capturing info from the left-hand side.
So before we go into the demo,
Hi, was there a question about the demo? We can take it on the chat and we can come back in the Q&A section if that's okay.
So now we have captured UI information, pass our control to API, getting data, and then we'll go for the second scenario, which is our negative scenario. It is just on the
John. Papa, John, please.
So basically, we are going to new account tab, and then we are entering some 10-digit tax ID, which is not acceptable. So it won't allow banker to go further with the new account opening. Validation done. Now report is generated. So we are getting this report. Basically, for reporting, we are using extend report. So we have two scenario here, and high level, it's like 13 total test cases, which is like 2, and then 8 test cases which we validated, and it is passed, and there are 32 total steps. And this will give you like total time taken, start time, and end time. Also, it will give you information about the user who is running this script. So that means user name, user ID, basically, you can publish name as well. So operating system, Java version, host name. So host name is basically, whatever like VDI name we are working on. And this is our detailed report where we can see test cases and test steps executed. So first test case is launch browser and log into the application. It will launch this site, and then it will enter user ID and password. It will sign in, then it will go for the to go and hit search request button. Then it will go for the searching account. So it will enter account from the, so account it is taking from the our test data. Wherever we are using test data, basically we can use from the database, we can use from the Excel, whatever. I mean, that's the up to the team or up to the project. And then we are going to like check the, I mean, we have captured this detail here. Basically, these are the UI detail, which is captured. And then hitting endpoint, get account attribute API. We are getting this response. This is our API response. So all the details, whatever the response is coming, we are storing here. Then UI and API data validation. Basically, here we are what we are doing, whatever data we have captured from the DCU application. So basically, we are validating three values, which is branch code, product code, and account number. So it's validated, passed, because all are matching, and then we are going for the database validation. So database validation also, I mean, API response, we got branch code, product code, account number, and same thing we are getting from the database. So this is also passed. Let's go to second scenario. Second scenario is basically, I mean, that is negative scenario. So total 4 test cases and 18 steps we passed. Here, same thing, like I mean, this is same, and then account opening tab and entering data like name and all. This is the wrong tax ID, like 10-digit tax ID, and which is not acceptable, and this banker should not be allowed to proceed further. I want to add one more point here. So basically, I mean, we have divided this framework in 2 layers. Basically, one is framework layer and one is project layer. So framework layer is where we are just putting all the utilities. So all the utilities means we are having like rest assured, Selenium, then we are having all database, DB connectivity like Oracle, SQL Server. Then we are taking Excel and PDF as well. And all the global whatever configuration level is needed. And at the project level, basically we are giving project level configuration part, which is like, for example, I have shown you properties file, application.properties file. So where I mean, this regarding the related to our application and related to that particular project. So that means I mean in the end we have to write just a script, test script to execute. So that means I mean everything is maintained in one place, that is called framework layer, and only test users, I mean, or testers has to write that script to execute the test cases. So now I'm handing over to Diptesh. Diptesh, over to you. You are mute.
Yes, sorry. Thanks for bringing it back, Ajay. Let me just get back to my screen share. So what I wanted to also show that we are not going to run the same demo again, but this has also been extended over to mobile solutions. So if you see the screenshots here quickly, the same framework is now working with Perfecto, which is a device provider from the clouds, and we can actually do that for, there's a sample of same solution run on
quality. So this is from across
Android.
the entire organization. So here with Samcare static analysis is pretty high. We've got most of our triggers in place. Our testing could probably be a little bit better. We might want to think about doing some.
Okay. So we can also do this on Android and iOS devices. With that, we'll go back to our roadmap. what we are doing is we are improving this framework, step-by-step basis. Where the first step was the API UI integration. That is already done. The next step for this is going to be a CI/CD integration. After that, we plan to actually include BDD capabilities so that we can actually shift left a little bit more. And then finally, we are also planning to integrate this with Jira and X-Ray so that we can actually do end-to-end CI/CD. With that, we can go into the Q&A session, and I will open up the forum for question and answers. With first, Jairam, did we have any question and answers coming over from your chat session? And then we can open it up for other people to talk.
Diptesh, there's one question from the team, which is available in the chat. Yeah. I'm putting
do you want to call out what that is? I'll go to the chat.
Yeah. There's a question from Pranjali. The only changes we'll make to run the script is the XLS file data.
Okay.
Is it only
Ajay, you want to take that question?
Yeah, definitely, Diptesh. So, I mean, only changes we will make to run the script in the Excel. Okay, so basically, yes. I mean, wherever, I mean, we are maintaining our test data. So if I'm understanding question correctly from the Pranjali, so it is like, I mean, she want to understand exactly test data, how team is managing. So yes, I mean, we will change our test data and little bit script accordingly. So as per the application, yes, we can.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the audience?
So, hi, this is Asif here. I have a question. So, Ajay, what all from technology we need for this framework?
Okay, so to use this is good question. Actually, we need basic understanding of Java. So basic understanding means, I mean, a person should have OOPS concept cleared, and they should know little bit of Gherkin scripting on Cucumber and little TestNG. So they can fully utilize this framework.
Yeah, and software perspective, you need an Eclipse environment on your VDI to run this, right? And the Selenium components, web drivers and stuff set up on your.
Yes. So setup perspective, yeah, that's correct, Pritesh.
Yeah.
Okay. We are using a tool called Rest Assured, which is also a plugin that you use in Selenium that can actually use the API implementation within Selenium. All right, thanks. Good question. Any other questions?
Thanks, Diptesh. Thanks, Ajay.
Diptesh, there is one more question from Kazani. What is the target date for Jira X-Ray integration?
We haven't timed it yet, but we think that towards later part of early Q2 or later part of Q2, we might be able to get into the portion of Jira X-Ray integration.
So Srini has question, can we run the automated scripts from Jira when we integrating? Yes, Srini. I mean, the plan is, I mean, roadmap is like that. We will be able to run when it is integration part is done. With, that is our roadmap.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Mihir, for the support.
There's one more.
This is great. I mean, I just had one question. I was in and out of the meeting, but how easy it is, right? So in my previous experience as well, Selenium is usually used for like basic regression. So how easy it is to update the scripts, right? Compared to manual testing, how easy that is for and to implement that.
So Mihir, I'll take that question. So the UI testing part is fully dependent on the UI and how frequently you are changing the UI. Our current
Yeah.
implementation is a standard approach towards Selenium automation for the UI portions, where we basically take every page, break it down into objects and libraries for each of the elements that are available on that page layout, right? Put some unique identifiers against each of them, and then try to validate the values that are there for those elements. And then that's what the change now is, that the elements are now being able to be instead of a static data coming from an Excel, we are able to actually compare against the API. That's the biggest change. But the UI implementation for the Selenium hasn't changed yet. It's the same thing that we do. So it is susceptible to UI changes and frequent changes on the UI at the moment. However, if you stick around for the second demo that we have lined up, that actually is it's geared towards that kind of a solution. We have a scriptless automation bot that can actually be of more interest on those directions.
Got it.
This framework addresses only the current implementation that we have in FRB.
Okay.
So one question I can see from Pankaj: do we have integration with Outlook email? So Pankaj, actually we have utility ready for the email alerts. It's not implemented yet in this POC, but yes, we can send an email alert to Outlook mails.
There is another question from Edson. How difficult is to implement to a legacy project?
So Edson, which type of legacy project? I mean, so this is, let me clear a few points. So if we are using any UI based application, we are using any desktop application. So desktop application we are going to do, I mean, that is coming up very soon with using Vimium. And if you are using any RESTful APIs, so any type of application we can automate from here.
Oh, yeah, I was asking just in general, just in case if you want to integrate or you want to integrate with a specific, I'm not sure, JavaScript application or something. Yeah, but I'm sorry for that. What is that?
Did I miss something in between?
So Edson, if I get your question right, if you're talking about legacy application, the approach towards automation here is from top down. So whatever UI that presents, be it legacy fat client application or a web application or a mobile web application.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking just in general. For example, currently the legacy application I refer for applications that was created with PHP or things like that, that use a different kind of old practice for development. Yeah, for that reason I was asking this specific
that wouldn't matter as long as there is a UI that we can capture and break it down. It wouldn't matter as used to develop it.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Hi, Harish here. I have a question from a UI perspective. Like this is the hybrid framework, right? So just a question about like if you're automating UI part and if we are having a Spanish content to verify, does this framework handles the Spanish content verification?
No, unfortunately, language integration is not here. It is so the UI portions of verification is specific to whatever your test case is, right? The content validation options are not available here. However, if that UI content is coming through API call, and the API response is whatever the API response, right? If you are not validating within the response or the state of the response, right? Whatever the API will respond, this framework will be able to compare that the same response is coming on your UI, right? But it does not really have a linguistic capability to validate that the Spanish language is correct or not.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Like
Diptesh, to add to the need, if the need is to do language or regional testing, we do have additional framework that can be added on to it to be able to achieve that.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks,